Thank you, Martin. We've got some breaking news regarding the case against George Zimmerman. Just a short time ago, the state of Florida released several jailhouse calls between Zimmerman and his wife. The calls were made shortly before Zimmerman was released on $150,000 bond. Prosecutors say the calls show Zimmerman and his wife tried to hide money from authorities before bond was set. NBC News' Carrie Sanders is standing by with details for us. Carrie, as I understand it, these calls have been released, several of them. You've been able to listen to a few. What can you tell me?
Well, there are 6 calls that were released. There are actually 151 calls that exist, but the defense attorney filed a motion saying that he thought some of those calls should not be released. In fact, the majority should not be released because they were personal in nature. But these are the transcripts from some of them. You can see I've done a little bit of highlighting on some of them. They reveal quite a bit, and at the same time, they reveal very little, in part because, well, sometimes all you're picking up here is the love of a wife, that's Shelley Zimmerman, talking to her jailed husband, George Zimmerman, and you can get the sense of their relationship by hearing their voices talking back and forth and the situation that he finds himself in, because, of course, he is charged with second-degree murder. At the time of this conversation now, he is in jail. She is calling from, well, she's been in 2 different locations, either at home or at a credit union. And at the time of these conversations, he is yet to actually go to bond court and ask for bond. As you noted, he eventually got a $150,000 bond, but the judge brought him back when he found out that he didn't reveal he had more than $135,000 in a PayPal account. Let's listen to a portion of the conversation which sort of reveals a little bit of their relationship.
I wish you were here, of course, but
I will be.
I know you will be. I know it. Like, I visualize you walking through that door.
I will be.
I know you will be.
Now, in one of the other calls, we hear Shelley Zimmerman tell George that he is getting a tremendous amount of support. This is at the same time when there were tens of thousands of people on the streets protesting, saying that George Zimmerman should have been arrested, protesting in support of victim Trayvon Martin. He is the young teenager who was shot and killed in the night that evening back in February. There's also in here conversation where prosecutors say they're talking in coded language, where Shelley Zimmerman is talking about $9 and George Zimmerman is responding about $10. Well, prosecutors say that was a very rudimentary code language for $9,000, $10,000 in terms of moving the money out of the PayPal account and shifting it around. At the end here, I think one of the things that I found most interesting is that Shelley Zimmerman telling her husband that she should realize that her attorney, Mark O'Mara, is working vigorously on his behalf, and that if he senses that Mark O'Mara at times has a different persona, that's because he is putting on that persona, but she feels 100% that what he is doing is in George Zimmerman's best interest. And she was saying that in light of saying that she did not feel with his previous attorneys they were getting the kind of support that they needed. Tamron?
Okay, Carrie Sanders, thank you very much, Carrie. And next up, our News Nation Gut Check. This is probably